Good morning and welcome to the School of Serenity. We are being broadcast by the Walk of Serenity and 4MTV, and we have a wonderful interview for you today. We have Lauren Shuvins on, who is a meditation and mindfulness teacher, and she's here to discuss the role of meditation in mental health. And I am your host, Kara Keem. I'm a psychotherapist, an author, and a Reiki master. And I have written a book, Discovering My Wings, which talks about how my life radically transformed when I started fearlessly following my intuition. And I help women step into their power through the voice of their intuition. And so we are so excited to have Lauren here with us today, and we'll sort of dive into everything she's doing. She has individualized meditation programs for people around the world, and you go by the meditating nomad, right?
Yes, correct. That's me.
Yeah, that's you. That's your name. So tell us a little bit about this work that you're doing and how you got into this and why it's so near and dear to your heart. I know you have a story around why meditation is important to you.
Yes, and that's a very broad question. I could talk for hours. I'll try and keep it short.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and kicking off, I think everyone who has such a calling, such a vision in life, they always have a story attached to it. You know, it's all about turning your mess into a message. It's one of my favorite lines to use.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I absolutely love that. That is a quote I am going to keep. Your into your message. Did you come up with that?
No, I read it somewhere. I don't remember where, but it's stuck with me since. It's powerful. Yeah.
Wow. Yes, that is so powerful. So interesting. So that's how my book came about, was a mess. Is that how your business sort of came about, is going through a messy time of transition?
Exactly. Yeah. I got into mindfulness and meditation on a personal level, first of all, because I was dealing with some pretty messy traumas, let's say. I went through a few very challenging situations and very challenging phases in life. And in the end, it was meditation, it was mindfulness that helped me not only to get through, but also to never fall back in that again. So that's on a personal level why it's so dear to my heart, like you asked, right? And when I figured, okay, I'm sure it's not just for me that it works so well and that it has so much power. I'm sure this this would go for other people too. I decided to actually do something with it at a larger scale, quit my job, start my own organization, my own meditation brand, so I can share this practice with more and more people and help more and more people to live life on their own terms, not being held back by blockages, by traumas, not being held back by themselves, and to tap into their own authentic self more and more, because that's when life becomes fun. That's when life becomes more and more beautiful. And sometimes we forget because we get where daily life catches up with us, or we're not able to break through some patterns that we may be stuck in, etc. So the fact that this helped me so much, it helped literally turn my life around. It helps literally save my life. I can say without a doubt. So I decided I need to do something with this. More people need to become acquainted with it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I find that meditation is just essential for calming the nervous system and really helping to soothe the nervous system. And it gives you those moments of respite, those moments of quiet and calm in the body, which we so desperately need.
Exactly. Meditation is all about healing, because what happens in meditation is that your body, your mind are resting at such deep level, deeper than sleep, that we allow our system, our body, our mind to heal in its own natural way, because our system knows how to heal itself, but we don't often let it anymore because life is busy, so many things going on, so many things to deal with, so many challenges, etc. Our to-do lists are pages long, if you're anything like me, at least. So meditation comes in.
Yes, absolutely.
And meditation comes in and helps to rest so deeply that you can heal again, emotionally, mentally, also physically. Yeah.
Wow. I love that, because it's so true. We do know how to heal ourselves. I mean, that is part of an innate biology. You know, Peter Levine says that
Yeah.
human beings have the innate capacity to heal trauma, but to triumph over trauma. And I deeply believe that. And so this meditation is one tool for doing that.
Exactly. Yeah. Meditation is one tool indeed, and there's many other modalities, as we call them, that are also very powerful. Some people really like yoga, for example. Some people
Yeah.
really like mindfulness. Of course, meditation, mindfulness, there's overlap. It's not the
Yeah.
exact same. It's a misconception that it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But there's also breath work. Of course, there's different modalities. But
Yes.
nonetheless, this is, from my personal perspective, meditation is at the heart of all of it, I would say. So it's the foundation that the rest builds
Yes.
on for me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. And for our audience, can you distinguish a little bit between meditation and mindfulness, what some of those differences might be?
Of course. What I often see or what I often hear is that people say they are meditating while they're actually engaging in mindful activity. So, for example, sometimes someone says, "Oh, I was just, my meditation is cooking," or "My meditation is taking a walk on the beach." And from a traditional definition standpoint, that's more of a type of mindfulness practice. Because the traditional sense of
Yes.
meditation is to sit down, close your eyes, and draw inwards, right? So, to put it very black and white, I would say that meditation is the seated practice with your eyes closed, the traditional way of doing it.
Yeah.
Mindfulness, on the other hand, can be a bit more active. At times, we have our eyes open. However, having said that, they of course do have a lot of overlap. They touch each other very strongly, right? And they enhance each other a lot, of course. But it's not black and white the same thing. Another way to explain it, I love this definition or this way of explaining it. Meditation is the awareness of what's going on inside. Mindfulness, on the other hand, is the awareness of what's going on outside or what you're doing, nonetheless outside. That's a very easy way to explain it, I would say. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, beautiful, and I love that distinction. That's really helpful for people who might not have had
Yeah.
that reference
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, I love
Mhm.
that. And so working through your own traumas and finding meditation, you then decided to start your company, Samavera, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
Well
So
pronounced.
tell us. Yeah, oh, good. Good. Tell us, that's where I always watch things is in the pronunciation. Tell us about this business and
Mhm.
this company that you
So what I
started.
Yes, of course. So as I mentioned, I decided this is something I want to share with others. Like I said, I even quit my job. I dove in. I said, okay, I don't want to work for someone else anymore. This is what I want to do. Let's see what happens, right? We don't know. We never know what happens,
Yes.
what life has in store for us, but we need to at least try. So long story
Mhm.
short, I created a training program out of my own training that I received in Thailand while living in a monastery with Buddhist monks. So it's actually, I was trained by Buddhist monks who taught me not only how to meditate myself, but also how to teach others how to meditate. So, of course, this was an incredible period of my life. And I decided,
Yes.
okay, this is so powerful, this is so needed, even more so these days, of course, with COVID, with the conflicts going on in our world, with all the
Mm.
transitions that we're going through. So out of
Yes.
my own training, I created a program to help teach others how to meditate. And this is not just for beginners. Of course,
Wow.
people who are new to meditation, it's perfect because you learn it properly, fully from the start. Because we don't
Yes.
just guide you through a meditation, we train you on how to meditate, which is highly uncommon. I was taking I was taking a look around, browsing online, and I have not come across a brand, an organization that trains in meditation. Only
Right.
brands and schools that guide in meditation. But of course, guidance
Right.
training is very different, right?
Yes.
It's not just for
Yes.
beginners, nonetheless. Yeah, yeah. And that's also why I thought, okay, why does that not exist? If I want to learn something, I go to a training, regardless of what it
Right.
is. Before I go to the gym the first time, I will ask someone to support me to make sure I'm doing the exercises correctly, right? So I don't injure myself, so it makes me better instead of worse. And
Yes.
if I learn a language, I use an app, or I go to a language school. So why is meditation different? I was
Mhm.
wondering, why do we rely on only apps
Mhm.
and YouTube, which are great, but they're great to maintain the practice? I would say they're not always the best to learn, because there's so many different versions out there, so many different ways, so many different styles, and it can take a
Mhm.
long time to figure out what works for you, what doesn't, why we're doing certain things the way we're doing, why we don't do other things, because there's no one to ask these questions to, right? So,
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
yeah, so I created a training for 3
Yes.
years.
And we don't know
Mhm. Yes.
for 2 years?
It's been over 2
Oh,
years
sorry.
now. No, no, I think there's a little bit of a delay. We're all the
There's
way
a little bit
overseas.
of a delay, but that's okay.
Always.
We're just rolling with
Exactly,
it.
exactly. So
Yeah.
we created a training program to help not only beginner meditators, but also more advanced meditators to drop deeper into their practice. And what we found so far, this
Wow.
is so humbling, really, and it shows us that we're on the right path. We still don't know what's going to happen in the rest of our future, but nonetheless, it shows that we're on
Right.
the right path. Is that people who had been meditating
Yeah.
for more than 10 years said that nonetheless they learned new things in the training, and not just that, they had deeper meditative experiences using the
Mhm.
tools, the exercises, the techniques that we taught in our training, based on
Yeah.
the past 10 years of having been meditating with apps, with guides, with YouTube. And that's incredible. I mean, yeah, so it
Wow.
taught me that
Wow.
this is amazing. It taught me that the technique that I learned from the monks in the monastery in Thailand really goes back to the core of what meditation is like. And it also showed me
Yes.
that, comparing it to, let's say, modern day meditations, I would say meditation has become so
Mhm.
modernized, and not there's nothing wrong with that, but it changed a lot
Right.
over time. And for some
Yes.
people, it works great, perfect, but for some others, it doesn't actually. And then taking the training that we host, it helped them click. It helped them really understand the practice and really dive deep into the practice and use it and embody it better,
Mm.
embody it more. So yeah, amazing experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, how incredible. So did you leave home? Share with the audience where you're from originally.
I'm from the Netherlands. I have left home
Yes.
about 8 years ago. Trying to calculate how old I am
8
now.
years. Oh,
Yes, 8 years ago.
okay. And so did you find the monastery during your travels?
Sorry?
Did you find the monastery during your
Actually, I
travels?
did, yeah. I did. I did. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I've been living
That's
abroad,
incredible.
working abroad, studying abroad, and now
Yeah.
I'm living in Berlin and Spain half the time. Hence why I call myself the digital nomad,
Wow.
or the meditating nomad, because I meditate a lot and I live abroad and travel a lot. So that together makes me
I
a
love it.
nomad. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. And what a powerful experience to be able to actually live in a monastery and study and train with these Buddhist monks. I mean, that's just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And so that experience is what sort of opened your soul up to
Exactly.
teaching the world about the benefits of meditation.
Exactly. I already had my own practice by then, but I wanted to do more with it. So when I learned how to teach it, that was the
Yeah.
next step. Then we hosted our trainings for people who want to learn how to meditate or deepen their meditation practice. And yet again, I wanted more.
Right.
So we developed a
Yeah.
teacher training as well. And we've been teaching um, future teachers on how to share it with their audiences as well. So actually, the brands, or the meditation community that we're building now, is not just hosting trainings for meditators, but also hosting trainings for teachers, meditation teachers, or people who want to become a meditation teacher. And they then share the
Right.
practice with their community, whether it be online or offline. So we're actually
Mm.
creating local meditation communities in different continents, countries, cities in the world, so we can really
Wow.
groups of meditators back together, just like you would go to a yoga class in a yoga studio. Why is it
Yes.
not the same for meditation? It's beautiful to
Yes.
share this practice with others. So
Yes.
so that is the vision that we're working towards, and that's in a nutshell what we're doing.
Yes. Oh, that's so, so powerful. And I mean, I think
Yeah.
we do need that guidance and that direction, because when I get on an app, it's like, am I doing this right? You know, sometimes our
Yeah.
mind is wandering and we don't always have a point of reference for if the meditation is going well or
Mhm.
not. And so everyone has different experiences. So you really individualize the plan for the person, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's true. So what we do is the training, of course, we have a group of meditators coming together and they go through the same training, obviously. But what we
Right.
do is we first show and guide from the beginning till the end. And then in
Mhm.
each consecutive session, we dive into the next meditation element or the next meditation technique. And we really
Mm.
dive into such detail that we really explain, okay, what's the purpose of this technique, how to use it, how not to use it, what are variations or alternatives of the technique. And then students in between the sessions can experiment with all those alternatives to figure out which one is the one that works best for them. And what's
Yeah.
beautiful is that sometimes students come back to the next session and say like, oh, I created something new. And it's just beautiful
Yeah.
because it means they're finding their flow, they're finding their style. And that's the whole
Yes.
purpose of what we're doing. And
Yes.
I have not come across this in my life before. And I think I'm
Mhm.
pretty ingrained in the meditation world. So I guess
Right.
it means it doesn't exist. Yeah.
Right. Right, right, right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Because I use a lot of meditation as a therapist
Yeah.
with my clients, but not every client can sit down and get to the places or do the imagery work. And do you find that some people just have a harder time? Some of my clients describe their brain as like buzzing bees, you
Uh-huh.
know, and they just can't get there. Do you have any of those clients yourself?
Yes, we do. First of all, everyone is different, and I've been doing this for years now. But still, I'm hearing new stories, new experiences. And I was just talking to my current group of students
Mhm.
yesterday, or even this morning, and again, someone shared something, and how beautiful it is to do this together in a group because we're all learning from each other's experiences, not just me, but them
Yes.
as well, of course. And it shows me that everyone is so different. So indeed, some people have more challenges with picking up the practice than others. But
Mhm.
there's something I'd like to mention here. It's the perfect timing. Um, Many people think that the purpose of meditation is to empty and clear the mind. And
Mhm.
this is indeed an effect of a proper meditation practice, but we don't actually
Mhm.
make it the purpose of it because the more you focus on it, the less that works, right? It's like me
Right.
telling you not to think of a purple elephant. What are you thinking about? Obviously,
Right.
exactly that. So when you tell
Mhm.
yourself, mind, don't think, don't think, the mind will think
Yes.
even more. It just doesn't
Yes.
work. And thinking is not our enemy. Our mind, our brain are very useful. It really depends how we use it. So, what
Mhm.
meditation helps you to do is to
Mhm.
increase awareness of the thoughts that we have, of the way we are, of how we're doing, how we're being. And with that
Right.
awareness, we can make a decision. We can decide what we
Ah,
want to do with it. We can increase awareness regarding whether we're stuck in a certain thought pattern that doesn't serve us, for example. So then we can decide
right.
to break that cycle, break that pattern, and replace it by one that's more constructive, one that's more useful
Right.
for us, basically. I have to say,
Yes.
nonetheless, that of course, over time, with practice, the more you become acquainted and the deeper you drop into your meditations, the more your mind learns how to calm down. Definitely. It's definitely an effect of the practice, but we don't make it the purpose because that achieves the opposite effect from experience.
Yes.
So,
Oh, absolutely, and I found that myself. I tell my clients who have the buzzing bee brains, I do too. That is definitely my brain, and when I first started meditating, 3 minutes felt like an eternity. I mean, an unbelievable eternity.
mm,
And, you know, after a couple years, could sit down and when I was down in Peru and meditate for up to 2
yeah,
hours. I mean, I really could be for 2 hours. But when I was starting, I mean, it was 3 minutes felt like forever.
Exactly.
So I do believe it is a result, but it doesn't happen overnight. And I love pointing out the awareness piece, because my brain might be the buzzing bees, but if I can bring awareness to what's happening in that moment.
Exactly. And your mind will calm down. It will. Exactly like you said, 3 minutes feeling like a full day, and then 2 hours passing by like that. It's all practice. It's all training, just like anything else. Just like anything else.
Right. So you believe that we can all train our brains to calm down?
Definitely.
Even the buzzing bees?
Definitely.
Okay, I love it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think the reason that some people think or believe they can't is because they understand meditation in a different way than what it's supposed to be understood like or supposed to be practiced like. Like I said, maybe focusing on the wrong goal and thinking, doing their first meditation, having a buzzing bee type of mind indeed, and thinking, this is not for me, never mind. But that is exactly meditation. That's exactly the practice. But when we switch that mindset and that understanding, suddenly that same meditation was a success. It's all about the mindset and the understanding of what the practice is in the first place.
Yeah. Yes. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, so since you are the meditating nomad, how many countries is Samavera in right now? How is this working around the world?
That is a good question. Because of course, with the pandemic, we also went back online to an extent. So we have trainers in different countries in person, but we also have a community that's highly international and online. So to be honest, the exact numbers right now, I would not even know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But we are, I wouldn't even know, which I think is a good sign.
That's a great sign. That means you're taking off. Yeah, I love it.
Exactly.
And do you Yes. Do you travel around sharing about Samavara around different countries? I know you're mainly between Spain and Berlin, but are you traveling around and doing some of these meditations?
I was before indeed, but now I decided, okay, it's time for me to take a step back and to train others to start taking the lead so we can focus on growing the community and others can focus and also become more experienced and being the trainer. So right now where I'm, of course, being the founder, I'm wearing 25 hats, obviously, but I decided to first of all focus on online trainings a bit more because it is for to grow the community, it is more efficient. And then our trainers have the space to indeed either guide in their communities locally, or if they like to travel, or if they like to do it online, right? We are quite flexible there. So currently I'm not traveling anymore for work, but I'm still traveling very much for personal life. Definitely. Yeah.
Nice. Yes. I love it. And I love following you on Instagram, the meditating nomad, because you are just, so deep in this practice and you're sharing it with the world and the benefits of how it can heal and save and help others. And so I just, these things come through us. Don't you feel like when something is a soul calling, it is just channeled through you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I often get the question, oh, where did you get the idea? Where did it come from? And I honestly don't have an answer. The idea came to mind. I thought, that's random. And then a few years later, it kept coming up and I thought, okay, maybe I'll look into it. Then I thought, maybe I should take it seriously. And then I thought, okay, let me try, etc., etc. It's like when you look back, you can connect the dots and you see the red thread. It's clear. But when you're in it, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
It's so true. It's so true. That's what my book is about. I would love to send you a copy of it. It's all about intuition and the universe leading you and guiding you. It is like getting a piece of a puzzle. And then you go, 10 steps and you get another piece of the puzzle and you go another 10 steps and you get another, and eventually it begins to have a picture and take form. But when you have that first puzzle piece, you have no clue how it's going to look.
Yes. And sometimes it doesn't even make sense. Like, why me? Why that? Why now?
Why
but you gotta
me?
trust and follow. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And that's how I felt about writing my
Yeah.
book. I mean, that was never my idea. I never in a million years dreamed to be an author and write a book. It was just the puzzle pieces, and everyone kept telling me over and over again the messages. That's a book. You should write a book. And eventually you're like, oh, if I listen to these messages, it takes form, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like you had that same experience. You kept receiving the message. It seems quite random, but when we act on it, it's actually spirit working through us.
Exactly. I even heard from some people, and this resonates with me, but of course, everyone sees life differently, right? So it may not resonate with some others, but that there are these spiritual downloads and multiple people receive the same download. So it depends on who acts on it and who doesn't. It may be that
Right.
it may be that I'll be successful in building a big meditation community just because I acted on it, not because well, I hope I'm well suited, but nonetheless, it may not even be
Right.
because I'm the best person to do it. It is because I
Yes.
trusted, followed, and acted. Yeah. So
Right. Right. Have you read Big Magic?
no, I've heard of it, but haven't read yet. I'll add it to my reading list.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yes, yes, that's Elizabeth Gilbert, and she talks about ideas as
Yeah.
being sort of downloads, and it's like whoever reaches up and grabs it, and
Yes.
decides to take on that
Yeah.
journey. And
Yeah.
even if multiple people receive the same download, there's an energy that only you have that you can
True.
bring to your version of it,
True.
right? Because I wrote a book about like intuition and adventure and driving to Alaska. Like a million women could write their own version of it, but mine
True.
has my energy of it. And so the
True.
same is true for your business and your way that you teach people to meditate, right?
Very true. Very true. And that's also why with our teachers, we say, okay, great, you have your personalized meditation style. Now go find your personalized teaching style and spread.
Yes.
Trust,
Yes,
follow, and act. Same.
exactly. And spread the world because they can only bring that specific frequency that
Exactly.
they carry in the
Exactly.
world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
It really does feel like spirit working through us,
Yes.
like just if we're open and we're listening and we're meditating,
Yes.
it's unbelievable what can unfold in our lives. I mean, things I
Yes.
never dreamed were possible. Do you feel that way?
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
I even my mom said it not long ago. She doesn't recognize me anymore. I used to
Yes.
be so low in life, and now I'm doing things I could not have thought were even gonna come my way, let alone that I could do them. So
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
the ultimate confirmation. Yes, I finally believe
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, absolutely. And I believe strongly that is another benefit of
yeah.
meditating. I really do. I think that's how we get the downloads.
Yes. Yeah, you open, you connect, you are willing to receive, or you're open to receive instead of just how to say. Sometimes we're caught up in talking, but we don't listen, right? So what meditation helps you to do is to open up to
Yes.
listen, and then deep insights come up.
Yes.
Wherever those insights come from, that
It's
depends on
true.
your the beliefs about the world, right? But yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's so true. It's so true. I heard Deepak Chopra say,
Mm.
prayer is when we talk to God,
Yes.
meditation is when God talks to
Yes,
us.
exactly.
I love
Exactly.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
Well, in our few minutes left that we have, share with the audience one tip for getting started in meditation and what they can do to just begin this journey if they're
Yes.
new to it.
I love that question because like we just talked about, it's all about first understanding what meditation is actually about, and not giving yourself a goal that is not
Right.
fully achievable in the beginning, such as focusing on clearing the mind.
Right.
So I would say if you want to get
Yes.
started with meditation, or if you want to try again, focus on observation and awareness, because a still mind will come by itself. That's number one. So that means you are doing it right. Even when you feel it doesn't make sense, or when you feel this is not working, you're doing it right. Do continue.
Mhm.
It's a practice, a training like anything else. And second, a great other tip is to focus on noticing when you get distracted, and focusing on coming back to yourself, coming back to your breath, coming back to where you were in meditation. this is perfectly normal. It's perfectly fine to get distracted. I still do too sometimes. Not all my meditations are perfect yet either. But that way, the time that you can spend in meditation increases by itself over time. You don't have to focus on having a 30-minute meditation. That will happen by itself. Just focus on noticing when you get distracted and coming back to your breath and coming back to your meditation. As simple as that. Not always easy, but as simple as that.
Yes, that's a great tip. Such a great tip. And to know that you're still human too. Like we don't get it right all the time. Just allowing for the humanness in this practice.
Yeah. That was a reminder to myself mostly.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Always. It always is. Yes. And I just love following you on Instagram. You're under the Meditating Nomad.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
And share with the audience how else to find you. How do people learn about Samavera?
We are online at samaverameditation.com and also on Instagram on Samavera Meditation. You can find it also through my personal profile. So
okay. I need to follow you on the Samavera.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you
Great.
so much.
Yes, well, it's been such a pleasure to have you here as a guest. Thank you for sharing with us about meditation. I mean, it's a huge part of healing, as we know. And I just want to spread awareness about this vital role and how it can help us heal.
Yes, beautifully said, and beautiful the alignments and the oh yes that we had during this conversation. That's the most beautiful way of having such conversations. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Of course. So make sure to follow the Meditating Nomad. And then for our interview and podcast, you can hop on over to karakim.com. That's KARAKIHM.com. And we'll have a podcast version of this too, so people can listen if they can't watch and follow along.
Beautiful. I'm looking forward. Thank you for this opportunity. Read her book, guys. Read her book.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yay. All right. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
You too.